Hi, and welcome back to Entertainment Talk Now. I'm Chloe, and today we're going to be talking about the Netflix documentary Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Released February 11, 2021, this documentary is directed by Joe Berlinger. Just to give a quick synopsis, the Los Angeles Cecil Hotel grows in infamy after the disappearance of guest Elisa Lam. So, let's get into it. Let's talk about the good first. You know, I like to start with the good. The good thing about this documentary is it's an explanation of what really happened. For those who are familiar with this case or story, I had never heard of it before this documentary, but it seemed as though this kind of took the internet by storm when it did happen. I mean, it's good to kind of wrap it up and give people a view of what really went on. I liked how they had everyone that was involved, well, pretty much everyone who was involved besides the family. So it gave like a nice like full view picture of what actually happened. Also, I think this was a very interesting story. It was very thrilling and suspenseful. I would say the most thrilling portion of this documentary was the footage, the elevator footage. You know, she's standing there, well, just the whole thing. You know, she gets into the elevator and she's pressing all the buttons and the door, you know, it stays open, which later in the documentary we figure out why it stayed open. And then, you know, she kind of like looks like she's hiding from somebody, and then she walks outside and she's like doing this whole like hand movement gesture thing. Like you're just looking like, what is going on with this girl? Like, what is happening? Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think season 5 of one of my favorite shows, American Horror Story, Hotel, I think that season was modeled off of this hotel. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you do watch the show, let me know. I did not watch this season. I'm a diehard fan of the show, but I didn't watch that one. But if you guys could let me know, that would be great. I think the video was the most thrilling thing about this. It was one of the best things about this documentary. So, if we're going to get into the not so good things, this dragged out way too long. This was a 4-part documentary, an hour long each episode. It just dragged out way too long. I feel like, you know, once you get to the end, the 4th episode, the last episode, and they tie everything up, it's like, wow, you could have really just given all of that to me in just one episode instead of having me waste 3 hours watching you talk about something over and over and over again. Just give me the whole thing. Just give it to me straight. Specifically, you know, they were talking about the lid on the water tank. How the lid, you know, was closed. The whole time the lid was closed. How did she get the lid closed? And then it turns out it was open. Why didn't you just say that from the beginning? I mean, I guess, you know, you want to keep people watching and everything, but there were some elements from the first episode that were repeated in episode 3 and 4. Let's see. I think one reason I think they did this is because, you know, she was a person. You know, she's not just some girl who died. She's not just, you know, a story. She's an actual person with a life, with a family, with feelings, with thoughts, with dreams, goals, and achievements. And I think that they wanted to take some time to highlight that. And their avenue to do that was by reading a lot of her Tumblr posts. So I appreciated that aspect of it. I mean, yes, it dragged out. It was extremely repetitive, but for them to add her Tumblr post in there, I thought that was a nice touch. I'll give that to the documentary. I'll say that. Oh, and then in one of the episodes, they mentioned the murderer, the journalistic murderer. I forgot his name, but the guy from Austria. They mentioned him for like a bit of an episode, but why did they put that in there? Why did they add that? what did that have to do with Elisa? The murderer guy from Austria, they were talking about like the prostitution and everything. I mean, I get you want to, shine light on the area and make it known about what type of area it is. Yes, I get that 100%. But some of this could have been condensed. When it got to the fourth episode, or the last episode, when everything was finished, I was sitting there like, can I get my time back? Can I get my time back, please? Who do I need to call to get my time back? Because no. Couple things to note. The couple who drank the dead body water. Yuck, 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 yuck. But why would you drink brown water? Why would you drink water that's not clear and clean and that smells weird? Why would you drink that? Different folks, different strokes, I guess. We also get to see the effects of cyberbullying with the artist Morbid, the guy that everyone thought killed her, who wasn't even there when she was there. Yes, we're talking about Elisa and she died and everything, but while we might not agree on the type of music he produces or his style choice, the way he wants to live his life, he's a person as well. And because of cyberbullying, I feel like he lost some of his self. He lost his sense of self. If you could see at the end, when he's being interviewed, you could tell he was completely different. He was a totally different person. And that actually made me feel bad. I'm sure this was a popular thing because they showed clips of it being on the news, national news as well as local. You have I think, it would feel like you have the whole world just against you, beating you up. That's no way to live. So my heart goes out to him because the internet is brutal. The internet is brutal sometimes. It's a gift, but that's a part of one of its curses. And I feel kind of bad for him. Also, due to the nature of the surrounding area, the Skid Row area, her manic episode was ignored. When they talked about how she went into the lobby and she said, I'm crazy, but so is LA. And she's throwing her arms up around everywhere and no one does anything. Of course, this is because of the area the hotel is in. So to them, it's normal. This happens all the time. Oh, that's just, somebody doing Cecil Hotel stuff, But this girl died. And there's a possibility that if this would have been checked out or investigated right then when she had her episode, that she could have still been alive. Just thinking of the hotels that I've stayed at in my life, I'm sure that if someone came up in the lobby and had an episode like how she did, it would be handled. So that's really sad. One of my friends on Facebook said she could have been saved, and I agree 100%. The biggest thing about this documentary is we still don't know. They explained everything except for the name for the tuberculosis test, the Lam Elisa test. Where did that come from? When was it named that? Why was it named that? What does it stand for? Was this test named after her, or is it a coincidence, or is what is that about? That's weird. Of all the things that has happened in this documentary, that is one thing that they did not explain. So that was a little weird for me. So, getting into the rating. For this documentary, I actually give this a 3. I feel like it's okay to watch if you have nothing else piquing your interest at the moment. I liked it purely for the suspense and the thrill. But I don't recommend this documentary because in the end, it'll have you regretting that you sat through 4 hours of listening to the same exact thing over and over again. So, yeah, I mean, if you have nothing else to watch, just this is something you can watch, in your leisure. I mean, I'm not gonna say, oh, go on and watch it right now. No. So, I do appreciate that this was done, tell the story of Elisa's life, but it is not something that I recommend you go and watch right this very second. No. I mean, like I said, if you have nothing else piquing your interest, yeah, go ahead. But as far as making this like adding it to your watch list or putting it at the top of your list as far as like, something to look at with your friends or your spouse or no. Nah, I wouldn't. So, if you like this video, give me a like. If you know someone who has watched this and you guys want to talk about it together, share it with them. And if you like my content overall, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video. And that is it for this one. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.